Hello everyone, welcome to a constructed video on MTG Arena. So I always see people ask content creators like, do you have good decks for best of one, or what would you recommend for best of one? And so I decided that it wouldn't be amiss to make some amount of content relevant to that. So today I'm going to be playing some amount of best of one games with a deck that I came up with myself and I've been really enjoying in the ranked queue. This is a gold deck, 3-colored Naya, based around Hero of Precinct One. So we've got this 2-mana 2/2 that whenever you cast a multicolored spell, create a 1/1 human creature token. And as you may notice, every single other card in the deck is gold. We don't have any monocolored cards except Hero of Precinct One. Now beyond that initial synergy, obviously this is good with casting other spells, we've got a few other synergies that aren't quite so obvious, many based around Shanna Sisay's legacy. I've liked this card for a while, and it ebbs and flows how good it is. In formats that are about combat, about both people's playing creatures and trying to outclass the opponents, this card is fantastic. In a format about removal and fighting through disruption and one threat winning the game, she is quite bad. I think we're in more of the former right now, so she's been performing pretty well for me. And the card that goes extremely well, obviously Hero of Precinct 1 works with Shanna because you make a lot of tokens and she gets big, and both of those cards are very, very good with heroic reinforcements. Because Hero of Precinct 1 triggers on cast, you actually get the 1/1 human token from Hero before the heroic reinforcements resolves, so the new token will get the 1/1 in haste. And so, even with just a Hero of Precinct 1, this adds 7 hasty power to the board. And if you also have, say, a Shanna Sisay's legacy, it's just an absurd amount of extra damage from adding bodies and pumping everything you already have. So, why do I think this deck is good in Best of One? There are two important reasons. The first is that, as everyone knows, mono red is very popular. We have an okay mono red matchup, not incredible, because anyone who's playing a whole lot of Shocklands is going to lose to mono red some amount of the time, but we have the advantage of having total board superiority. They have some amount of X1s like Viashino Pyromancer that are just terrible against Hero of Precinct 1, and even when they get some of their bigger creatures like Gitu Lava Runner, we have a lot of X3s, and so they can't attack very well. So basically, they will get in just 1 or 2 damage early, and then we can stall out the board and then begin smashing in for a lot of damage, and it's really difficult for them to keep up with that. So, as I said, the matchup is fine. Like, we can lock down the board and then close early. Sometimes we get burnout, but I've had a pretty good record so far. The other deck that I've been seeing a lot in the Best of One queue is the Gates deck, where they have almost all their lands are Gates and they've got a lot of payoffs. The most important payoff in the Best of One format is Gates Ablaze, the 3-mana, deal X damage to each creature, where X is the number of gates you control. This is basically their tool to win in Best of One. It is how they clear the board against any sort of aggro deck, but it does not work against our deck, because we have 4 copies of Tajic Legion's Edge. This card completely shuts down Gates Ablaze, and so basically they need that sweeper to happen on a specific turn in order to win, and it doesn't work. And so even if we only have like a hero and an Emmara and then played the Tajic, if they wipe the board, Tajic dies, he doesn't protect himself, but the others live, and that's usually enough time to continue beating in and kill them. So I've had a very good record so far against the Gates deck, and that's the main reason that I'm enjoying this. So, one more thing before I get into the games. If you've been commenting on our videos, I appreciate it, and I do read every comment. Unfortunately, YouTube has been being odd recently and won't let me reply with the official YouTube account that we're using, so I haven't been able to respond. But go ahead and keep commenting, I do enjoy reading them, and as soon as that works again, I'll go back to interacting with everyone. That's it for this, I'll go ahead and get into the games. Okay, getting to our first Best of One match with Hero Gold. I am really excited. This hand just works. Sweet. I'm really excited to continue playing with that card as the format develops. Basically, anytime we're in a Ravnica format, I am just constantly trying to find what pile of gold cards I can play with that'll just work and be really powerful together, because gold cards are usually the most powerful in a given set. Against red-white, I'm gonna go ahead and go with a Boros Challenger here. And so Hero of Precinct One is basically a super huge payoff for exactly what I wanted to be doing in Standard anyway, and that's awesome. Okay, Lava Coil, sure. Would have hit any of my creatures anyway, that's fine. So, I have two options here. I can play Tajic and then attack for 5, and that's pretty good. I can also Shanna, leaving up Integrity Intervention, and so if they try to, like, Lava Coil again, well, the problem is that the main removal spell we've seen is Lava Coil, and Integrity doesn't protect her from that. So, I am going to do the other thing. Gonna need to draw a little bit of gas here. The one card that we would love to see at this point is Domri, the Chaos Bringer, I think is his title in this one. He is just, in a way that nothing else in our deck does, he lets us gas back up and really just keep going long in a game that a normal aggro deck would flood out of. Wild Growth Walker, we can outsize this card with a big Shanna, but I don't really want to play that game. I just want to get that off the table and keep hitting them. Tajic being great as usual, this card is so good. Okay, really glad we got rid of the Jade Light Ranger. Okay, they're playing Naya stuff, but it looks like they're playing Naya good cards instead of Naya Hero of Precinct One. So we shall see which of those works out better for them. Here, I'm going to just go ahead and go to combat. If I hadn't drawn this, I probably would have played the Spellbreaker. But here we're actually in a really good spot. They can't block the Tajic, because I can give it First Strike, and that would just kind of kill them. And so they traded for my Footlight Fiend, and I'm fine with that because I still get to ping them and got rid of their creature. And then I just get to commit a lot more to the board. It would be very difficult for them to live through a hasty Spellbreaker coming down next turn. Probably the card I'm most iffy on in this deck is Relentless Raptor. A 3/3 for 2 with Vigilance is just such a good rate, and in some amount of games it's been incredible for me. It's like the best card in my deck. And in some amount of other games, they just like play a 4/4 right here, and I have to attack with this, and I'm very unhappy. And it's been pretty evenly split, so not entirely sure how you evaluate a card that's sometimes fantastic and sometimes garbage. Okay, if they have an Explore guy here, they aren't dead on board, although they are basically dead. Okay, that's a little annoying. Think they already played a land this turn? Because they played Jade Light last turn? No, they did not. But they didn't want to shock themselves for that. That's fine. Okay, here. This is just leaving up First Strike on Tajic. It doesn't actually matter. They didn't play an Explore creature, so they didn't get to gain any life, and so they are dead on board. Alright, won the first one. Let's keep going. Okay, second best of one with our sweet Hero of Precinct One deck. Huh. Well, any land we draw lets us cast one of these, because there's only 2 planes in the deck. And, like, Hero into Tajic is one of our best draws anyway. Ugh. I'm probably not supposed to keep this. Like, there are a lot of hits in our deck. We have 21 lands, so every draw has better than a 1 in 3 chance of being perfect, and we don't really need one until turn 3. I'm gonna keep it. I might crash and burn here, but the upside is so very high if we do hit. Like, if we hit Stomping Ground right here, we're just off to the races, right from the beginning. That is not a Stomping Ground. Okay, we still get 2 more draws before we're really punished for keeping this probably terrible hand. Esper, not a good sign. Okay. Specifically, Esper, not a good sign because they have a lot of hard removal and sweepers, and like, unless it's damage-based removal, Tajic won't save us, and so, yeah. Also, yeah, I did ask for this. I specifically said I'm probably not supposed to keep this, and I'm probably going to die from keeping it. Okay. Well, we're back to trying. Do we play Tajic or Boros Challenger? I'm going to go ahead and use our mana as efficiently as possible. That said, if we draw a green, we do have double Domri, which is one of our ways that we can actually keep up in terms of card advantage. And also, giving creatures Riot is no joke. Most of the creatures in this deck were never meant to have haste. Okay, try it again. Okay, they didn't have anything there. That's good for us. That is less good for us. Oh boy. Well, I think our best play here... God, this has Vigilance. That's so gross. Alright, so I will go ahead and add a counter. So now we have a fair amount of points of power on the board. They will get to hit Domri here, but... I don't know. Like, I don't know what our other options were. Like, start playing these as 1/1s, I guess. Or as 4/4s. They can attack into here. Okay, that's also quite bad. See what they do with it, though. Yeah, probably that. So. Dang, we just stumbled for like one turn too long. If we'd been getting going earlier than that, I think we'd be in fine shape. We lose to a Settle the Wreckage here. I will just say that right out. Not interested in trying to play through that card. So, what are our best options? I think I'm going to go ahead. It's time for Riot. Shanna on the list of cards who were never meant to have Riot. I'm gonna go give her haste. Going to go ahead and give this guy haste. It appears that they don't have anything yet. As I said, if they have a Settle the Wreckage, we just kind of can't beat that card. And I shouldn't have given my Spellbreaker haste. I hadn't actually thought through what I wanted to do here. Basically, if they want to trade the Sphinx, if they want to eat the Footlight Fiend, I'm going to get to kill their Teferi here. And otherwise, they need to trade with Shanna to keep him around. So, go ahead and attack like this. Do they have something? Nope. They must have a backup Teferi or something, otherwise this plays really weird. So yeah, I played a little too hastily with my Spellbreaker. I really wanted this to have a counter. This should have a counter on it. But the fact that they weren't able to protect Teferi is like really good for us. They must be super flooded out or something. Probably gonna kill him here, that's fine. Okay. So... now I'm going to go ahead and play this guy with a counter, I think. But an attack like this, I'm really interested in them trading here because then we get to play another Shanna. Nope. They are not interested. That's fine, I guess. They need something. Like, we're winning in this holding pattern. Okay. If I play a creature... alright, I'm going to go ahead and try to run out Domri. See if this resolves. Probably not. Okay. Now, if I just attack with these two, again, they need to trade if they want to get rid of one of our creatures. This is extra important to be playing around keeping our creatures as playing around forcing them to trade if they want to block, because if they'd gotten to eat this 2/3, then Shanna goes back to being... okay, that's unfortunate, but we do have good creatures for rebuilding. Again, just kind of need them to not have anything here. Okay, going to go ahead and play our lands. If we draw... we're already through both Domris. Well, that's unfortunate. So, we have enough to win the game here. Oh my gosh. This deck has so much incidental life gain in it. Like, 6, 9. They've gained 11. That's really gross. Which that also explains why they're at 23. Yeah, okay. So, basically, we are a little bit flooded. The game is exactly shaping up the way I described that Shanna winds up being bad. when this is about removal and sticking individual threats. I messed up a little bit, which cost us a few damage, and they've just gained so much life that we're not like able to keep up. That said, they're still down to one card. They haven't like drawn anything to really pull ahead in this game. They had the one Teferi that they might have run out a little hastily. Like they had it on time, but then we were able to force it down with the creatures that we had. Okay, that's a little scary. Okay, we continue to flood out. That's a little annoying, but whatever. Whatever happens, moral of this game, don't keep hands that you know you shouldn't. When you specifically say, I'm probably supposed to mulligan this, you should probably mulligan. Yeah. Main deck Thief of Sanity in your Kaya's Wrath deck is something else. Oh dear. Well, that's... I mean, that's kind of whatever. Continuing to flood out. That is really unfortunate that there were 3 spells on top, and then we get milled right down to a land. But yeah, because we're gonna get to mentor Shanna again, they don't have good blocks with Tajic here. Unless, of course, they have a removal spell for my challenger. No? Oh, we're so close. In a game where everything's gone wrong, can we just have a little bit go right here at the end? But we should be dead to rights this game. Oh my gosh. More just gas on top. Oh my gosh, 2 heroic reinforcements in the top 3? You're kidding me. Ugh. Oh my gosh. This is so incredibly unfortunate. We had 6 spells in our top 8 cards, and we drew the lands, like, of those 8. Oh my gosh. And we're, like, actually losing the race now. They've gained so much life that we're just dying to this Thief of Sanity. Oh. Yeah. That's the extra worst thing. Like, at least if this were Gonti, it'd be putting the cards on the bottom, so we wouldn't know what they were seeing. But we have perfect information. Like, we've seen all of our best cards go to the bin. Oh god, now they apparently have a tough choice. Please make up your mind. Just play, like, anything plus a card from your hand and I'm super dead. Okay, 2 more spells, again. Sure. Okay. Alright, I'm done. I can't handle it anymore. That was too depressing. Oh my gosh. I guess that's justice. Okay. After a heartbreaking loss, where it felt like Thief of Sanity was actually just stacking our deck, not specifically rearranging, or not specifically taking things, we're back in it. This hand is fine. We would prefer to be on the play, obviously, but 2-drop, 3-drop, great play on 4. Our mana works. This deck has also just been triggering me because I counted out the mana sources, and we do have, like, enough of every color. The mana's not perfect, but it's fine. We have enough to be reliably casting our cards, but I keep missing, and part of it's probably keeping really bad opening hands like that last one, but it really hurts to build your deck correctly and then just not be able to cast a 2-color card anyway. I suppose there's some amount of, like, that just being about how our deck is built, since almost every card in the deck is gold, I feel like we are just naturally going to miss a little bit more than other decks will. And particularly, so let's say we have a card that costs 1B and a card that costs 1G. If I'm missing black mana, I still get to cast my 1G card, even if I was equally likely to have been able to cast each of them. Whereas if every card in my deck is gold, like if I'm missing white, I can't cast any of these cards, even though these, like I have red and green cards available here. I hope that makes sense. Okay, the flooding begins. Oh well. Gonna go ahead and just play Relentless Raptor. It's the most pressure and just the best thing against a Search for Azcanta deck. Esper Control again. If this is gonna be common, I wouldn't play this deck. I did not build this deck intending to beat Esper Control. We just don't really have the tools to do well in this matchup. Gonna go ahead and get Emmara down, because if they are going to sweep my board, this is the card I most want to die, because she is the one that I have another copy of that I need this one to die before I can get value out of having this. They have an island, so they can't Kaya's Wrath me yet. We'll see if they do anything here. We Heroic Reinforcements, that's 4, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's not quite enough. I'm going to go ahead and just attack here. If they do something, I'm going to play Domri and use him to pick up some cards. Feeling okay about this now, especially because of this play, because it's a safe thing that I can deploy. I'm threatening lethal next turn, although they don't know it. So like if they tap out for a Teferi, they're just going to die. Okay. Main deck negate, hitting one of our very few targets. Sad. Okay, also a little sad. That life gain really hurts. Okay, well, I'm gonna overcommit into a sweeper a little bit here. That said, like, we still have a lot of damage in hand. Like, if we draw a land, this is 3 plus 5, so that we're stacking for 8, still puts them to 2, and then dead on board, even if they have, like, a Cleansing Nova here. Would prefer not to get Wrathed, because then we just kind of win the game. Oh. Oh, man, please. Please land. Please. Ugh. That's so sad. That we actually had lethal in hand, because they had to shock this in. They almost got punished for their mana base, the Kaya's Wrath basic island mana base, but alas. If they don't do anything, like just pass, I will probably just pump up Boros Challenger and attack with both. That isn't lethal, it's only attacking for 6, but it doesn't commit my card onto the board, and I don't want to walk into a Settle the Wreckage. I used to think that people would just play the best sweeper available to them, but I have definitely played against decks with Kaya's Wrath, Cleansing Nova, and Settle the Wreckage. And, so I'm pretty convinced people are just going to play whatever they want, and there's not a lot you can do about it. The Eldest Reborn, okay. I think that puts them dead to the Heroic Reinforcements. The math should be the same as last time. Mentor and Boros Challenger coming up big. Yeah! 2-1. Alright. Okay. I go bananas. Let's do this. This hand looks awesome. Yeah. This curve is so good. I just love Hero into Tajic, then I'm insulated from a damage-based sweeper, I'm attacking for 6, and I have an extra 1/1 lying around. Like, okay, we're against probably the black-green deck. This matchup can go either way. If we flood out at all, we just kind of die, because we can't get the critical mass of creatures we need. Or they could just be playing something totally different. Okay. I'm happy to see this, like a blue-black deck, when they're on so few cards. Okay. Well then. Hmm. Don't really want to trade away my Hero of Precinct One. Hmm. This is kind of tough. I'm just gonna play this guy as a 4/4. This is a little weird. When they're on so few cards, it's in my interest to just pressure the game out and kill them as quickly as possible. But at the same time, okay, they are like a Sultai. Okay, they're like the Sultai mid-range deck. I get it. Oh, please kill my 4/4. Thank you. This was not what was going to win the game. This is what is going to win this game. So, here I am just going to commit a whole bunch of guys to the board. Wait, no, that doesn't work. I only have a single white. Oop, I shocked myself for no reason. Guess we'll just run back the play from last turn. Really don't want to get into combat until I can kind of just overwhelm them. I'm really wishing I'd attacked earlier and looked to trade for this Midnight Reaper, because as the board stalls out more, this card gets scarier and scarier, because it's threatening to draw them a lot of cards. So, this time I'm actually paying this because that is the correct thing to do. Okay, here, doing this because their blocks are not very good. Like, they can trade here, which is fine. They can try to trade here, but that's not going to end well for them. I suppose they could put, like, everyone under Tajic. Okay, and I'm just going to go ahead and give him first strike, because I don't want to lose my sweet soldier guy. I get to draw a card here, but that's probably fine. I got to get a card off the table and hit them for some damage. Now I'm what I like to think of as, oh god, I really, really need Heroic Reinforcements mode. Oh god. Yeah, this is the Sultai mid-range deck that did really well at the SCG over the weekend. 2 Hydroid Crises in a row. Yeah, this is really annoying here. Now our attacks aren't good anymore. Oh dear. So, yeah, just don't really have a lot of good options here. I kind of just need to flood the board in, or with, like, as many tokens from Hero as possible, and hope to draw Heroic Reinforcements. What I am going to do, I'm gonna go ahead and attack like this. Their blocks aren't great here. They have multiple ways to eat this. I suppose they can do like that, and that's actually really bad for me. I didn't think this through well enough. That said, I look like I'm threatening something here, and if I lose Tajic, it's not really a big deal, because I just wanted to stick one of my other creatures, plus him anyway. Okay, they called my bluff, which is unfortunate for me. Alright, so yeah, we're in trouble. I didn't play this ideally. I should have gotten rid of this earlier. Basically, I played timidly, and I let them take over the game with a Wild Growth Walker. This card is probably one of the worst things in Best of 1 for this deck. Like, we have the 4-mana Lightning Helix, but that's... oh god. Okay. Yeah, they mulled to 5, and then after that point, everything that could possibly go wrong did. So, yeah, that sucks, but sometimes they have it all, and sometimes you screw up and walk right into it all. Okay, trying again. This hand has a really good curve. One thing that I would like to change about the deck is to have more 1-drops to be able to get moving early and come out of the gates faster, but there are literally no other 1-drops that are gold cards. Footlight Fiend is the only one. So, instead, we will play with what we've got. It's possible that the answer is to just not... is to compromise on the all-gold status a little bit. Like, I don't know. Just find some other card. Well, you're a turn late. Damn it. But just find some really good one-drop who helps how the deck plays a lot. I'm not super into that, though, because I don't love any of the options. I've looked at most of the one-drops in our colors. One that could be pretty good is Pelt Collector, but I'm not even completely sold on that card. Well, this is just a day of things not lining up well for us. Hopefully they'll be too scared. This is sort of a bluff attack, but it's not a good bluff attack because, one, there's no cost, so I'm not risking anything, and two, I don't get a choice in the matter. So it doesn't even look like a conscious decision like, oh, I'm attacking and hoping that they'll block. It just... this is just what this card does. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want this to be a 4/4 so it can actually attack into this. Yeah, like, I could have played this as a hasty 3/3 here, and then they just block and, like, take 3, and I'm never actually making any headway. I think we're in trouble. We kept a 4-lander and drew 2 lands and a 1-drop the turn after we can't play the 1-drop anymore, so that's not been going very well. Okay. Instead of Lightning Strike, they have the one card that punishes our 4/4. This is a day of nothing going right. I am sad. I'm so sad. Luckily, we have a secret weapon here. We're gonna get a hasty Footlight Fiend. Do they have a counter? Oh my god! Oh. I'm so unhappy. I'm glad I don't record with a camera, so no one can see my face right now. These were our draws, and they've just had the perfect answer both times while committing their threats. Like, this couldn't be worse. This could be a land. That is the only thing that could have made this game worse. Yeah, like, it's just much too late. We're just... oh my gosh. I'm gonna play one more to redeem the deck, but oh god, this has been painful. Okay. We'll play one more game. Hopefully this is a good one. I was like at the very bottom of Gold 2 this morning, and I decided to just screw around playing some Best of 1, because, as I've mentioned before, I don't really love Best of 1 compared to Best of 3. And I just felt like I needed to record because it was going so well. Like, I was winning a lot, everything was going perfectly, and I'm like, oh, I should make some video content with this cool deck that's just actually doing what I want it to. And then I turn on the camera and start getting destroyed. And I suppose that shouldn't be surprising. That's how that goes. Right on time, as usual. Suspect they might have a Merfolk Trickster here. The way it paused in my combat makes it seem like they have a spell they can cast, and I think that's the only option. See if they have the Wizard's Retort for the hero. Punch. Okay, sure. This game could go either way. We're obviously winning the race by a lot, but if they play a Tempest Djinn here, we're just kind of shut out of the game. Yep. Okay. This deck is so good. Oh god. This has to attack too. Maybe they won't block. Oh, they didn't block. Wow. Okay. That's really good for us. That's really, really good. We might be able to steal this one. With a Heroic Reinforcements, suddenly these can attack through the Djinn even if they leave it back. And they just won't have enough pressure. Mistcloaked Herald, sure. Irrelevant. Okay, they've got counter mana up here, which is sad, but I'm still going to go for it. Yep. Spell Pierce is just really ruining our day today. That said, like, we're still winning this. They missed their 4th land. They probably wanted to leave this back. Like, these have to attack. They could have just kept eating our board. Yep, I'm gonna attack. If they have a trickster, they could, like, eat the soldier, but that's not good enough. They're taking 8. Yeah, sure. I guess they're taking the lifelink away, so we don't gain 1 back. Yeah, they're down to 1. We have more bodies than them, and I'm about to play a pretty good card. And, like, this doesn't even attack into our board at all. Yeah, they're going to need something serious to not just die. Really think they needed to play a defense with this Tempest Djinn. Okay, I think that makes us 3-3 in games overall, which is funny given how negative I've been, but I really thought we had a chance to just kind of sweep it. So, the deck performed okay, but you also see another fatal flaw that I didn't mention. This deck is so bad at dealing with X4 creatures. All of our creatures attack for 3 or less, and oh man, that's... If Tempest Djinns and Wild Growth Walkers that have grown by 1 are everywhere, this deck is not a good place to be. But we also showed why the deck is cool and some of the powerful things that it can do. So, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like it, I would love it if you could subscribe to the channel. Helps make sure you see all of our videos. Also, if you enjoyed Best of 1 compared to Best of 3, or you hate Best of 1 and you only want me to play Best of 3 always and forever, leave a comment below. We'll see if I can never respond to comments, and I can discuss what I think will be the best content. That's all for today. Thanks for watching.